will now cost even more to import goods from Canada.
And while you were sleeping, President Trump increased tariffs on Canadian imports to 35%. That's up from 25%, and that is effective today. He says that our neighbor to the north has not done enough to crack down on illicit drugs.
But in a surprise move, the president is now delaying this morning's promised tariff hikes against more than 24 of America's trading partners. He's pushing it back until next week.
And 7 News Detroit reporter Brittany Tulis is joining us live right across the river from Canada. And Brittany, the increased tariff rate adds even more uncertainty for businesses and consumers right here in Metro Detroit, including the auto industry.
It really does, Alicia and Keenan. When it comes to those 70 countries, nearly 70 countries will see newer solidified tariff rates. When those are in effect, it'll impact almost everything Americans import. As you said, Canada also had its rates increased up to 35%. The Prime Minister said several industries will be impacted by those. Now, Canada, not one of those 70 countries with the new August 7th deadline, but President Trump raised the tariffs on Canadian imports from 25% to 35% on imports not included in the U.S., Canada, Mexico trade agreement. The president saying it's because of fentanyl flow into the U.S. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saying in response, Canada accounts for, quote, 1% of fentanyl imports. He says tariffs will hit lumber, steel, aluminum, and auto industries the hardest, but the government will try to minimize impact on jobs. Now let's get to the other tariffs impacting consumers. In a Thursday executive order, President Trump extended the August 1st trade deal deadline to August 7th for those nearly 70 countries. Trade rates in that executive order range from 10% to 41%. Countries the U.S. has a trade surplus, meaning more is exported than imported, will sit at a 10% base rate. Countries with a trade deficit sit at a 15% base rate. And when those tariffs do hit, Yale's Budget Lab says American pocketbooks are going to feel the impact.
You're going to see price increases for the average American family of around $2,400 annually and a smaller economy.
Now, when it comes to tariff on imports from Mexico, those are getting another 90-day pause. Live from the Ambassador Bridge, I'm Brittany Tulis for 7 News Detroit this morning. Keenan and Alicia.
President Trump's months-long tariff war escalating. Brittany, thank you for that live update. Tariffs, of course, already having an impact on Detroit over the last week and a half. Each of the Detroit 3 automakers reported damage to their bottom lines. Let me show you here. First, General Motors said that it lost $1 billion in the second quarter alone, and it expects a $4 to $5 billion loss for the year. Stellantis then reported it lost $2.7 billion in the first half of the year, partially due to tariffs. Ford expects a $2 billion hit from the tariffs this year. It reported an $800 million tariff cost just in its second quarter. We will be monitoring the impacts as the weeks move forward.
Well, witnesses